Are airport wait times finally speeding up? And what can we expect at MSP?
I talked to some travelers who wanted to share their experiences.
The latest No Kings protests drew crowds of over 100,000 and featured a wide variety of speakers and performances.
Thank you, Minneapolis, St. Paul!
And I braved the wind here at the Capitol to talk to people at this year's International Transgender Day of Visibility.
And how do scientists use dancers to visualize their research? All of this and more coming up on University Report.
Good morning and welcome to University Report. I'm Claudia Garcia.
And I'm Lucas Kirchner. Let's get started.
After the president signed an executive order over the weekend, TSA agents finally got paid this week for the first time in a month and a half. Ahmed Hassan joins us live from MSP to tell us more about what's going on locally. Ahmed?
Hey Claudia, so lines here are practically non-existent at the moment. In some airports around the country, you're seeing long lines, up to 300 minutes of wait time. You're seeing ICE agents, but here in Minneapolis, here at MSP, less than 5 minutes. 10 minutes ago, it was less than 10 minutes. But it's low lines, low level, and ICE, nowhere to be seen. But I talked to some people that were flying into Minneapolis today and some that were flying out to get their experiences on what they've dealt with so far.
I was kind of expecting it to be chaotic, but it wasn't.
We got through in about 5-10 minute stops, and we're sitting at our gate for 3 hours instead.
While MSP has avoided major lines, delays, and ICE presence, airports around the country like George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston face the opposite.
I came 2 hours before my flight, and I was pretty surprised because when I traveled last week, I traveled with Delta, and the lines were pretty huge.
That was in California and Arizona, where Farah says she also encountered ICE agents.
When I was coming in, at the TSA check, ICE were the ones that checked my ID.
Farah says it felt weird to her that ICE agents were checking her bags.
I feel like this is not their job to be in the airport, honestly. Like, there's people for that.
Hallie Hammer flew into the Twin Cities from Newark.
We were out of TSA within like 5 minutes. I feel like they overreact on the news. Yeah, I think there's a lot more, they put a lot of worry into people, for sure.
Yadira Vargas came from Newark as well and says she saw ICE agents there but didn't interact with any of them.
The feeling, it's kind of surreal and different. It's kind of like, it gives kind of like a military feeling.
Gemma McDermott and Jennifer Lyon flew in from Los Angeles. Gemma says she's thankful for all the TSA workers who showed up.
Perhaps the politicians who didn't do their job could have maybe forfeited their pay instead.
TSA agents received their back pay on Monday and Tuesdays, but officials say that they're unsure if they'll continue to receive their back pay in the future, or future pay. And at MSP officials say the lines aren't expected to exceed 30 minutes at all.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Yes. Yesterday around 11:20 a.m., a car flipped over near the intersection of 12th Avenue and University Avenue. The crash took down a power line, cutting electricity for several buildings near the intersection. Someone was seen in handcuffs, but we cannot confirm any arrests. The power remained down for most of the day, causing problems for students in the area.
Yeah, so I was taking a test and it knocked the Wi-Fi out. I heard a big bang, so I came outside and saw all this commotion, the lines down, the car flipped over, so I really got confused what was happening.
Yeah, just frustrating. I probably won't have Wi-Fi for another, I hope, by the end of the day, but we'll see.
Xcel Energy said that power was restored at 8 p.m. last night. The debris has been cleared from the road and 12th Avenue is back open.
More than 100,000 people gathered outside of the Minnesota State Capitol on Saturday for the nationwide No Kings protests. The organizers called the St. Paul protest the flagship event of the worldwide demonstrations. The event featured a long list of speakers, including Governor Tim Walz, Senator Bernie Sanders, and others. The speakers were accompanied by several musicians, headlined by Bruce Springsteen. The speeches focused on the impacts of Operation Metro Surge and highlighted the strength of the Twin Cities community.
Radicalized by decency, radicalized by due process, radicalized by democracy, and radicalized to do all we can to oppose authoritarianism. Thank you, Minneapolis, St. Paul! No kings, no wall! Thank you, Minnesota!
No Kings organizers said that the protests are not over and that there will be another protest sometime in May.
There's a new express bus route on campus, and one of St. Paul's libraries is shutting its doors. And will we see snow in the Twin Cities again within the next day or so? Find out next on University Report.
Because it was there. Because determination overcame distance.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
Because the unsolvable was invitation enough. Why are we driven to discover? Because we can change the course of history. Because tomorrow's visionaries need focus today. At the University of Minnesota, with each student comes an opportunity to set their sights higher and to show them the way, so our graduates can shape the future and fulfill the dreams they haven't yet dreamt. Because renewable energy can sustain us all. Our students envision the sun powering homes on every block, wind-blown ideas launching entirely new economies, and fertile soils fueling cars and people alike, protecting the harmony between humanity and nature. Because self-expression can move 1,000 souls. Be it a song or a dance, a canvas or a poem, the arts are vital to the U of M experience, as are self-discovery and moments of sheer amazement. Because cancer can be conquered by targeting medicines, customizing treatments, and transplanting stem cells, incurable cancers can become survivable. Terminal can be redefined as treatable, and optimism can spread once again. Because human rights need champions. From classrooms in Minnesota to courtrooms in Uganda, assembling a collective voice for change allows dignity to return and extends human rights across the globe. Because clean water ensures quality of life. It's essential to the health of all nations, so we're studying models and molecules. We are committed to making clean water flow freely, from the headwaters of the Mississippi to the slums of Mumbai. We share the belief that anything is possible, because at the University of Minnesota, discoveries unfold, breakthroughs happen, and history is forever changed.
The McGrath Library is set to close its doors at the end of this semester after 73 years. The closure will make way for a new St. Paul Campus Student Center scheduled to open in the spring of 2029. After McGrath closes on May 14th, the Natural Resources Library in Hudson Hall will become St. Paul's main library.
It's an old building. There's a lot of water leakage, which not great if you have a bunch of books, but overall it's sad. Our coworkers are gonna have like a little funeral for the library party.
A new bus route has hit the campus. Neil Roy took a ride to show us what makes the 126 different.
The University of Minnesota launched a bus route 2 weeks ago that quickly transports students between the East Bank, West Bank, and St. Paul campuses.
I think it's awesome that we have more routes.
The 126 runs every 18 minutes and has a goal of keeping the commute quick. It's an alternative to the 121, which can take nearly 30 minutes on a busy day to get from the West Bank to St. Paul.
Having this new bus and just having that goal in general is fantastic.
The bus stops at only 6 locations, compared to the 121's 15 stops. It also waits longer at the stops on West Bank and St. Paul campuses to ensure that passengers can catch the bus before it leaves. Though the new bus route shows a promising alternative to the 121, students haven't quite been sold on the new route.
Having only 2 buses at any one time means that it's maybe not as efficient as people were expecting.
Sometimes I feel like the routes are so similar, like all of them go to the same place or they're all like traveling the same route. Like I do wish that the public transportation was expanded into the suburbs and like outside the city. But for what it is right now, I think it's good. I think it's a positive.
But generally, people were happy to have a new bus route to use.
It's cool because I'm kind of a hermit and I don't really go outside, especially in the winter. So to have options is a great plus. In general, I think a connected city is a good one.
And now, students have a second option to get between the St. Paul and Minneapolis campuses. Neil Roy, University Report.
The 126 will run until the end of the semester. Its last trip is scheduled for the 15th of May, but it'll be back in the fall, although some campus bus routes run all summer long. Although hopefully we won't be needing to take the bus soon if we can get some warmer weather, right, Neil?
Yeah, you know, that would be really nice, and I think it'll come relatively soon, but it might take a little while to get there, because right now it's just not quite short season yet. We've had some ups and downs lately, with temperatures soaring up to almost 70 degrees this past weekend, before dropping to the 50s. And guys, it's going to keep on dropping. Fortunately, we won't be able to study outside or maybe have classes outside for the next 5 days or so. Speaking of which, why don't we take a look at the weather for the next 5 days? The weather's all over the place this week, with those 70-degree days seemingly taking a vacation. Today, we're looking at a high of 45 degrees, with a chance for some rain later into the afternoon. And later tonight, guys, this is no April Fool's Day joke. That rain might turn into snow. And by tomorrow morning, we'll be seeing a mix of freezing rain and snow. As we head into the weekend, the sleet will continue to fall, with Friday reaching just a high of 41 degrees and Saturday peaking at 40. Rainy and snowy weather should clear up around Sunday morning, and the daily high then will reach around 45 degrees. You know, I was in Houston for a wedding, and boy, am I sure missing that weather right now, Claudia.
Well, hopefully that'll be the last of the snow we'll see this year. A protected building was bought by the university last week. What are the plans for it? Learn more about Trans Day of Visibility and what is body storming. Find out how scientists use dance to advance their research. Coming up next on University Report.
We're all about water in Minnesota. I've been here approaching 50 years. Originally, the biggest problem we had is algae bloom from the sewage in the lake. And now we got the zebra mussels, and that's been a major negative.
Zebra mussels are an aquatic invasive species. They impact the food webs within lakes, which impact fish populations, growth, occurrence, and especially in Minnesota, where so much of our recreation is lake-based, that impacts those local businesses, different tourism around the state. Zebra mussels were first found in the Great Lakes back in 1986, and since then they have spread throughout much of Minnesota. People love clear water, but that's not necessarily good. That means that conditions are different for the plants, for the fish, for everything in the lake. This project out on Lake Minnetonka is looking at a copper-based product called EarthTech QZ. We are hoping that this will give us ideally some solutions for controlling zebra mussel populations. This project is largely a partnership between the University of Minnesota, specifically MASERC, the Minnesota Aquatic Invasive Species Research Center, and the U.S. Geological Survey.
It is very much a team effort. Even the marina owner that has graciously allowed us to use their area for staging our equipment and supplies. So without the cooperation of all those different partners, it would be impossible to do a study of this nature.
There are a lot of infrastructure and businesses existing relying on the lake. It's not only the marinas, it's everybody around Lake Minnetonka will suffer subsequently.
Well, the zebra mussels over on the east end of the lake make it clear. It looks like an aquarium over there. So during the daytime, it's kind of tough to fish.
Zebra mussels affect our boats by getting into the motors. They affect the beaches. They get on the rocks. People step on them, cut their feet. So it just makes it less desirable to use the lake. And as a business that's in a lake community, that affects us.
This project is specific to Lake Minnetonka, but we're hoping that this type of treatment will be able to be repeated on different lakes. The University of Minnesota's Aquatic Invasive Species Research Center is one of a kind. It's the only one like it in the country. And the work that we're doing is protecting Minnesota's lakes.
The University of Minnesota is absolutely essential in this matter. And it's a profoundly positive experience for us to be part of it.
The University of Minnesota has bought the historic Fire Station 19 building near Huntington Bank Stadium for $8 million. The building is located in a high-traffic area between Williams Arena and Huntington Bank Stadium. The historic property, built in 1893, is currently being leased to Buffalo Wild Wings. The university will continue Buffalo Wild Wings' lease until 2030, and the university has yet to announce any further plans for the property after the current lease expires.
A dance professor and a cancer research scientist are combining their knowledge into what they call body storming. I recently observed a body storming session which included multiple members of the U's marching band, dancers, actors, and more. Take a look.
Let's make our circle again and talk about that. One.
At the University of Minnesota,
We have a membrane.
scientific research is constantly advancing to the next level. But a new method of research
Our approach is at least one of the early, if not the earliest version of this.
is taking the floor. Carl Flank, a University of Minnesota dance professor and director of the dance company Black Label Movement, and David Odie, a biochemical engineer, found a way to combine dancing with science.
I was going to choreograph his research. So I was going to listen to him talk about what he does in biomedical engineering modeling, and I would then respond with some type of dance.
This collaboration led to what they now call body storming.
We're using humans in space and with choreographic strategies to model that at a human scale rather than in a screen with a computer.
What we can do here is we can make quick models because we can give people instructions, and people are a lot easier to tell what to do than computers are.
And the people can be anyone, from dancers to actors to even non-artistic individuals.
I'm a dancer, so I come from the movement aspect of it, and then learning to kind of see how our movement can bring in a scientific aspect to it is really awesome. I just love coming to these because I get to meet so many new people.
It's almost a community research approach where everybody in the room has the opportunity to talk to the scientists and say, I saw this.
Move and actually knock your bond.
Does that mean we're going to cure cancer with body storming? I don't know, but maybe this is a part of a process that leads to really effective responses.
Beep.
Claudia, that is really cool, the fact they're doing that for cancer research and everything. And I'm not a great dancer myself. I kind of, what do they say? You have 2 left feet, but I think I could do some of those dances
No,
there.
it really, anyone can really do it. I don't know if you saw, but they close their eyes and they pretend to be little T cells, yep, just like that, and they walk around bumping into each other, but it makes it so much fun and you meet so many cool people. But you know, you can find out more about body storming on our website, z.umn.edu/universityreport.
And the weather on Sunday felt just like summer. Even so, the Minneapolis Vintage Market brought a big and stylish crowd into the Machine Shop, an event venue in St. Anthony, Maine. The market had about 20 different vendors selling a variety of vintage clothing, jewelry, and shoes. Coffee and alcohol were also available for purchase. The market hosts pop-ups monthly. The next one will be held at Quincy Hall on April 12th.
Yesterday was the International Transgender Day of Visibility. A few days earlier, reporter Joe Larson went to the state capitol to talk to participants at a rally for the holiday.
Good morning, how are we doing, St. Paul? Yes!
Dozens of people gathered the Friday before the holiday to watch drag performances outside the rotunda and listen to speakers from Minnesota's Trans Caucus inside. All that on the steps behind me just a few hours ago. I talked to participants and speakers in the rally to find out what makes this year's Transgender Day of Visibility different than those in years past. They told me it was just about that, visibility being seen under an administration they say says they cease to exist.
That's what they say. We will eradicate transgender people from public life. With this new Jim Crow creeping and festering across our country, today I was given a bigger mic.
I think what makes it different this year is that like our space of Minnesota was under siege by the government in its own way.
You know, our sibling Renee was a queer woman out with her wife when she was murdered by a fascist government. It's not an accident that queer people are on the front lines.
And yet, despite all they try to throw at us, it is a beautiful day to be a trans Minnesotan.
People emphasized using the Day of Visibility to bring a positive connotation to the word trans, after what they feel has been years of negative association. Their message was love, overpowering hate. Joe Larson, University Report.
The rally was organized by Outfront Minnesota, the state's largest LGBTQ+ advocacy organization.
And it's been a busy month for University of Minnesota sports. There are new coaches and accomplishments, but don't worry. I'll keep you up to date coming up next on University Report.
Because it was there. Because determination overcame distance.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth.
Because the unsolvable was invitation enough. Why are we driven to discover? Because we can change the course of history. Because tomorrow's visionaries need focus today. At the University of Minnesota, with each student comes an opportunity to set their sights higher and to show them the way, so our graduates can shape the future and fulfill the dreams they haven't yet dreamt. Because renewable energy can sustain us all. Our students envision the sun powering homes on every block, wind-blown ideas launching entirely new economies, and fertile soils fueling cars and people alike, protecting the harmony between humanity and nature. Because self-expression can move 1,000 souls. Be it a song or a dance, a canvas or a poem, the arts are vital to the U of M experience, as are self-discovery and moments of sheer amazement. Because cancer can be conquered by targeting medicines, customizing treatments, and transplanting stem cells, incurable cancers can become survivable. Terminal can be redefined as treatable, and optimism can spread once again. Because human rights need champions. From classrooms in Minnesota to courtrooms in Uganda, Assembling a collective voice for change allows dignity to return and extends human rights across the globe. Because clean water ensures quality of life. It's essential to the health of all nations, so we're studying models and molecules. We are committed to making clean water flow freely, from the headwaters of the Mississippi to the slums of Mumbai. We share the belief that anything is possible, because at the University of Minnesota, discoveries unfold, breakthroughs happen, and history is forever changed.
Fittingly enough, March was a wild month for Gopher sports. Like I said, there are some new faces and accomplishments. Here's what you need to know. Women's and men's hockey both needed new coaches after Brad Frost and Bob Motzko departed. The search didn't take long. The next week, athletic director Mark Coyle introduced Greg Boom May to coach the women's team. He was an assistant for the Gophers starting in 2023 and now takes the reins as head coach. On the other side, men's hockey announced their coach the next day. It was Brett Larson from St. Cloud State.
Brett talked about when you play the Gophers in hockey, you get the A game from the opponent. I want all of our sports to feel that, and I feel like we're making great progress doing that.
Moving on over to the wrestling mat, Max McAnally won the national championship at 184 pounds. The first time a Gopher has ever won at that weight.
I'm only a sophomore. I got 2 more years left. So the goal is to definitely become, a 3-time NCAA champ.
The last of the winter sports to round out, women's basketball ended its March Madness run in Sacramento against UCLA. It was the program's first Sweet 16 appearance since 2005.
I think everyone just did an amazing job of giving 110% of everything they have every single day and every single practice. There's not one person that didn't make an impact on this team, and especially this season. Yeah, we love it. This is what we came here to do, and I think that we really showed Minnesota the pride we have for the team.
Men's basketball accepted an invitation to the College Crown Tournament and will play Baylor in the first round tonight at 5:30. The Crown pays out in NIL funds, with $300,000 going to the winner, $100,000 for a semifinal win, and $50,000 for a quarterfinal win. NIL, of course, stand for Name, Image, and Likeness, and that's the new system by which college athletes can be paid. If you want to learn more about Gopher sports, we link their website on ours, z.umn.edu/University Report. And this year's NFL draft is just weeks away. 2 years from now, that big event could take place at US Bank Stadium. The Regional Sports Commission just submitted a bid to host the draft in 2028. It's a 3-day event hosted all around the stadium. And more than 750,000 people attended the 2024 draft in Detroit, and that generated $213 million for the area. Buffalo has also put in a bid to host, and the winner will be announced in May. And along with that, 6 days ago, the Twins opened their season in Baltimore, and Friday, they're coming back home. They have their home opener at Target Field. Breakfast at the Plaza starts at 6 and goes till 9 a.m., and then the gates open at 1, with the first 10,000 fans getting a Twins beanie to stay warm in that cold weather we talked about. And then a pregame happy hour from 1 to 3:10 p.m., and then at 3:10 p.m., that's when our first pitch is scheduled. And Claudia, I know you mentioned you're kind of an expert on the snacks at the Twins game.
Oh yeah, I have not been to a Twins game since I was a little child, but what I remember most from my time there were the giant nachos in a Twins cap. I think my family has about like 6 of those now, and we reuse them. But oh my God, the nachos, the hot dogs, and I hear there's deep fried Oreos. Doesn't float my boat, but there is a group out there for that.
It's definitely for somebody, a lot of good snacks, a lot of great things going on at Target Field. And that's our show. I'm Lucas Kirchner.
And I'm Claudia Garcia. Thank you for tuning in to this week's University Report.